Councilor Cahill.
I'm not hard, but I would like to ask some questions of Chief and Parking Director. Page 85 of the budget.
Councilor Cahill, floor is yours.
Mr. Fenton, I first want to thank you for being here. I understand we didn't get to you last week. We had a scheduled vacation for this week. We postponed it to be here. I think I speak for the council. We appreciate it. Thank you. I have a number of questions about your budget. Because I know last year there was a discussion or a dispute over how some of the money was allocated with regards to some raises, and I just want to, this year, I want to be prepared so we don't have that again. Just to go down the line items, you're clearly at the top, and you're clearly here, still working, correct? No plan for leasing?
Not at this moment, I mean,
Okay.
I don't know about after tonight, but right now I'm here.
All right, I think you'll be under contract for 3 years, so I think
Yes,
that's
I
around
do.
at least 3 more years.
Yes,
And the assistant parking director, that person's not going in.
correct,
And the principal bookkeeper, that person's not going in.
correct.
And executive assistant, they're not going anywhere.
No.
And clerk. Then we get the data entry operator, line item 1,000. And this is, I guess last time I didn't pick this up. So the way this is written, it looks as though there's no one in that position now. Or if there is a person in that position, have they been there for only 1 year?
I believe the position is occupied by Vicky. Yes, and it has been on.
I have to see Miss Ryder's junior. She is the brains behind the drawings.
You won't get any argument out of me.
So there's someone there, they're not retired.
Yes.
Okay, and there's a part. Then I'd like to go down to the meter maid abandoned vehicle, the second position, halfway down the page, right below the 14 years of service.
Yes,
Okay, so there's no years of service, there's no longevity, there's a weekly ending salary of $74.75 with a gross of $3,807. Is there someone in that position?
we had two individuals in the positions that you're referring to, and one of them has since retired. And it's a combination of both of those positions, so it's not an additional position, if you will.
So is the person, the one remaining meter maid abandoned vehicle person, getting the extra $3,800?
It's a meter maintenance abandoned vehicle counselor. It's the individual who maintains the parking meters, and the city does the collections, but also does all the abandoned vehicles.
I guess the question is, why is there a line item for $3,871? Where is that going to, or who's that going to?
I believe that the combination of those two amounts is what that individual is receiving. And there, to be perfectly clear when I say that, there is no additional increase in the hourly rate that person is receiving.
So you have one person doing essentially 2 jobs,
Yes.
and you've allotted the extra $3,800 to cover the.
Correct. It probably should be on one line.
Yeah, I would feel probably more comfortable with that, just because it looks as though there's 2 positions over
No,
opposed to 1 position. And then what I'm nervous about is, quite frankly, after today, that $3,800 being distributed.
but that is not the case. And there is only one individual.
Okay. I'm at a little bit of a predicament because I can't fix that from here, because we can only delete or decrease a budget.
I would hope you would take my word for it. There's no intent on bringing in a second person. It's one person, full-time, same as we basically ran last year, but with two people.
Is there any plans to fill that position?
It's filled.
Well, it's filled with a guy who's doing, or a gal who's doing two people's jobs. Two. What was it essentially a job done by two people?
There were two part-timers.
Okay.
Okay. There is now one full-timer.
So there's one full-timer, one position. So maybe we should eliminate that line item and somehow transfer the money somewhere else. And again, I'm at a loss as one of the mayor's opinion, but I'm just concerned. It doesn't look, it doesn't sound good.
I understand the concern, but I believe we just had the second part-time person that we had in this position. We held the position open because we were hoping that they would come back. They are now not coming back. So what I would say to you is, whatever the full-time dollar value is of that position, and I believe, but I would have to check, I'm not going to say with certainty, that it's the combination of those two numbers. If not, as you are concerned, it would be extra money sitting there, not being utilized at this point.
And I don't know how this affects the longevity or the pension. I mean, I guess it's all lumped into one, but it's just, I guess, it's just a little unclean, the two line items for one person. Essentially deriving.
I would agree with you. It's more an issue of timing than it is of anything else.
So this happened
Right.
recently?
Right.
Okay. All right. I may make a motion on that, just to clarify it, and maybe we can work things out with the mayor. I'm not opposed to that, just it doesn't really flow very well for us. Now, moving on, if I could go down to the last position there, data entry operator. Now here we have what looks to be an open position.
This one.
The second to last position.
Correct.
So we have an open position for $16,100.
Correct.
Just to be clear, you're going to hire someone. You're not going to distribute that throughout the department for salary increases. You're going to hire someone for that position.
You have my word, and I believe this is a public meeting, that I am not going to distribute one penny of that money to anyone who appears on this list.
That's a good response. All right, I appreciate that very much. So we've gone through your budget, and it's on tape, so we're going to hold it to it. Now, just briefly, I'd just like to talk to you about what some of the things we've been doing in the city, because I know last year we were in discussions about reorganizing the department. I'd just like to know, there was some money in the capital account for the Off-Street Parking Commission, like $200 and some odd thousand. I'd just like to know what upgrades or any upgrades you guys have made to off-street parking facilities or any meters, or where we moved since our date in October to today.
I would love to report that we've made a lot of progress to that end. Unfortunately, the Off-Street Parking Commission, and I think this goes back to the last time we met with some of the councilors, the issue really came down to finances. The money that you're referring to was for capital improvements. And there was a feeling at the time, based on information that we received, that the Off-Street Parking Commission would be entitled to utilize only the off-street revenue that the lots would generate. And they decided that they would pursue that and then go back and inform both the mayor and the council of their intent to do it. But they wrote a letter because they wanted to make sure that they were on sound footing to Mike Barry. And Mike Barry wrote back, basically saying that wasn't possible based on his interpretation of the law. I've given that to Bob Connaught, who's the new chairman of the Off-Street Parking Commission, and he is in the process of trying to clarify what that means. We need to implement this two-step process, and it is a two-step process regarding the lots, and I think it was stated to the council at that meeting. And one is first to clean up the lots and make them look decent. And to that end, because this issue wasn't resolved, you might see an addition on a line item under parking of $40,000. The intent of that 40 was to seek approval so that we could at least get going with the cleaning. When I say cleaning, I'm not talking about routine maintenance. We have to go in and do a thorough job of that so that subsequent, it's easy to maintain those lots in that shape. Okay? And it's also less costly. That has not been done in years. We have fences to repair, etc. A lot of landscaping to be done. The second phase of that would be to try to take advantage of the technologies that are out there. As you're aware, at one point we had lot attendants in all of the lots, and that is not the case any longer, and we need to do something about that in terms of have a fair and equitable parking lot for everyone. And I mean, we've got people sneaking in there now and not parking, and we just don't have a lot attendant staffing to make sure that that doesn't continue to happen. And it's certainly not fair to those parkers who park monthly and pay us a monthly fee. And that, by the way, is by far from a revenue standpoint the clearest group, the largest group of individuals.
I mean, I'm Florida.
No further questions. Council Creighton.
Mr. Fenn, I agree with a lot of what you said there. There are a number of lots in the city that are a disgrace. There are lots that there's no revenue being collected. There's dumping, there's people living there. It's an ongoing problem. It has been for quite some time. I believe there was a study done a number of years ago that gave recommendations to the city, to the Off-Street Parking Commission. And again, nothing's been done. Councilor Cahill brought the back of the Off-Street Parking Commission here in October. Again, nothing's been done. And it's very frustrating. We talk about inaction. This is a perfect example of it. And I just don't understand, I guess, what is the point of having this commission if, one, nothing's done over the course of decades, and two, I mean, I'm not clear now with Mike Barry's ruling what are they able to do? What purpose do they serve the city?
I'm not going to speak for the Off-Street Parking Commission, but I can tell you that it's not the end. I don't think there's any disagreement in terms of where we need to be. I think the disagreement comes on the means to do it. And without the funding, we can't do it. The line item for groundskeeping for all of the lots in the city was $250 for the year. Okay. Now, I'd be happy to give that $250 to anybody if they could resolve the issues, and I don't disagree with you on what the issues are. But that's not going to happen. The second thing I'd like to comment on is what's happening to these lots. And I'm not trying to use this as an excuse, but you talk about the dumping, and sometimes we're able, fortunately, to get a group to go in and clean up a lot, and if you walked in that lot 2 days later, it looks like it was never touched. We have a constant problem with people dumping in the lot, throwing trash in the lot, sleeping in the lots, doing other illegal things in the lots, and it's very frustrating.
I certainly understand the frustration, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way, I don't mean to be offensive, but you're in charge of this department. You're in charge of the parking lots in the city.
I am.
You are able to recommend to the commission on actions that need to be taken. And again, there's just been no actions. And just looking at some of the line items here, there's 2 parking attendant positions that appear to not be filled right now. So that's revenue the city's losing. Not investing, not taking the money to the 2 parking attendants, 2 down from the data entry operator. They're funded at $1 each.
Correct. They're not vacant, we're not recruiting from them, we don't have the funding from them.
So there are parking lots, so the revenue is just not being taken in. I mean, because I'm driven.
No.
During parties and
No,
stuff.
I don't think.
I have the numbers.
Yeah, let me be clear, so I was trying to answer your question. We take money and all of the lots. Let me use the Ellis Street lot as an example, the one across from Bliss. Okay. We have monthly parkers that park in that lot, and they pay us a fee to do so. However, there's no attendant in that lot. And when I alluded earlier, I said there are some people going in that lot, parking for free because they can get away with it. And there's no realistic way of preventing them, short of addressing Councilor Cahill's issues and putting something in.
Exactly. I mean,
In the form of technology.
It seems like there are clear answers, and there have been for a number of years, and just nothing gets done. And it's year after year, we push it down, and we met last year, apparently you guys are working on something else, we're gonna meet again, we're just gonna continue this game. But I have no further questions, I don't want to yield to the Council Cahill.
Council Cahill.
Thank you, Mr. President. Okay, Mr. Fenton, what I would suggest is this. There was money that was, lots sold, there was some money. Please have the off-street parking department automate the parking lots. Get some, just automate it. You'd actually make some money. I had the numbers here through May for 2012 annual revenue. Lake Street has it's a daily user. There's 28 type of lot, there's 28 spaces that's metered, 0 revenue. Then we get Union Street, it has 33 number of spaces, it's metered, it shows 0 revenue. But here's what's up. So there are problems here, there are issues here. We know we have this agreement of funding for you guys, but simple question was there was money available, there's been no capital improvements, there was a cleanup this weekend, paid for the DPW. I mean, it's just ongoing. I passed out to each counselor 2 pieces of paper that are in front of you regarding a total analysis of what your department brings in and what you consume as far as cost of the city. Now, in 2008, you had a surplus of $13,000 from everything you take in, regardless if you get it or not. Everything you guys take in, opposed to what we pay for you. And that includes pensions, health insurance, salaries, materials, everything. You guys made us a whopping $13,000. Now, if you go to this year, 2012, I'll give you credit, it's only for 11 months. And I'm hoping June was a huge month, because right now we're down $51,000 in the hole for your department. I've said this over and over again. I would rather have no parking department than one that loses us money. So the question is, how are you going to, you are a revenue generating source. Granted, yes, you are there to make sure there's public safety, there's people that aren't parking in the streets, but we need you desperately make money for us. And we're just not seeing the return on our investments. If you could just give us a little something, spend that $200,000, beautify one lot, automate one lot. I think you'd see, at least for the business community and the downtown residents, some type of pride and appreciation. And I feel like we keep doing this, and we'll continue to do this. But we need more.
Council, I have not had the benefit of looking at any of the financial numbers that you're referencing.
You should, you're the department, you should know your financials. I don't have
I
to
do know my
financials.
financials, I know, like every other.
You know what's coming in, and you know what's going out. Don't tell me you do not know what's coming in, not going out. This is your department.
No,
You need to know every penny. I'm sorry to get a little bit upset here, but don't tell me that you don't know how much money you have coming in. That is unacceptable.
Council, I didn't say that. What I said was, I didn't have the benefit of seeing your numbers. I do know, like every other department in this city, how much revenue we generate and what our budget is. What I don't know, okay, and I don't think any other department head knows in the city, are those other numbers that you're referring to relative to overhead or other administrative costs or pension costs. Nowhere in the 20-plus years that I have been here has that been part of any budget process. So I'm not.
I raise this with you every year. I'll get the tapes. I raise this very issue with you every year. I'm sorry to get upset, I'm sorry. However,
That's
a little
okay.
frustration.
That's okay.
And I'm not mad at you. Actually, outside these walls, I think we get along pretty well. But
Let me say that I will convey to Mr. Connaughton, as the chairman of the Off-Street Parking Commission, the basic tenor of the discussions tonight, and tell him that the council wants that money used.
we're more
I'd be happy to do that, but
you spend.
the only thing I want to be clear on, I really think that both things need to be done, not just one. Technology is not, we're not going to get people to go down and use those lots because of some of the things the other councilors said here tonight in terms of the conditions that needs to be fixed. The fences are down in some areas. That needs to be fixed. We need to put, we're down significantly, okay, in parking meters, some of which are in lots, okay, that generate some of that revenue that you're talking about. And by the way, let me only make a comment on, because I know what you're looking at, I think, in terms of the individual lots through May. And the reason why that one lot that you mentioned shows nothing is because the only thing in that lot are some parking meters. And parking meter revenue, okay, is not in the off-street line item. It's in parking meter receipts. So there is, I don't want to mislead you, but there is revenue in that lot. It's not zero. I can't tell you what it is right off the top of my head, but that's the reason for that. But I would be happy to convey to them.
If you could do me one favor, and I don't owe, you don't owe me any favors, believe me, because I know I'm paying you, and I apologize for that. But if you could call Brockton. Brockton is a city much like Lynn, as far as demographics, funding, and economic development. They have recently, last year, revitalized one lot in front of their city hall. It's got cameras, it's got the lighting, it's got solar powered. They said that before it was just a lot just attended by one person, and there was no green space, there's no landscape. They said they changed it, and you wouldn't believe the amount of money they are deriving just from that one lot. They're going to emulate that for all the municipal lots. Please, please, please reach out to Brockton. It's a simple plan. I'd be happy to work with you on that. It's just one lot. Just one.
I will not only call them, I'll make sure I give you feedback.
Chief of Staff to the mayor is a Lynn English graduate. He'd be happy to speak with you about it. He was all excited about his lot.
I believe I know the parking person in Brockton as well, so.
It would speak volumes of the commission and yourself. Thank you very much, and again, I apologize for raising my voice. I was unprofessional. I apologize.
Council Creighton.
Mr. President, through you to the members, there's been a lot of discussion here tonight, but at the same point, I don't know that much light has been shed on the overall issue. I would like to call the Off-Street Parking Commission before the council, the next council meeting. So I'd like to make that a formal motion.
Second. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Councilor. Thank you, Mr. Fenton.
Mr. Fenton, can we tell the lots, if they're not producing revenue, the jury, why don't you sell them? Why can't we just sell
I think they can.
them? Okay. Can we get up on the agenda how we can sell these lots?
I think that would be, if you want, like to request an opinion of the legal department, that would be most appropriate.
Okay, do that.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, the legal department, we will meet with the Off-Street Parking Commission. Thank you. Any other questions for Mr. Fenton? Councilor Hahn?
Mr. President, I think we're only hearing one side of the parking lot. I think I ask this question every year, and I ask Mary, like, how much money, did you bring in all year? Like, it's not just the parking lots either. They have the parking meters, they go out, they get tickets, in the winter for a lot of those white councils, they tag and get the cars towed. I mean, there's a lot, you know, the parking department doesn't lose money every year. I just want people to understand that at home and Sydney, I'm sure you all know that. But, I mean, they serve a lot of other purposes to us, especially the white councils or anybody. All the council at large also, you get a car, you get a call in the neighborhood, they tow them in the winter, they get a tag and tow the person in corners, and, you know, they generate a lot of revenue. I know, Councilor Kale, I know this is, I know it's sticks to you all, but I know some part of it doesn't lose parking, and we need to get a little bit, but they sure are the thing downtown, they take up the cars and keep them moving, and they're not parked all the time, so. Yeah.
Thank you, Council. Any additional questions on the budget for the parking department? Councilor Cahill.
So just to be clear, and maybe I misspoke, but these numbers are for the whole kit and caboodle. So yeah, they made us 13 grand in 2013, 2008. But unless they have a big month, we'll hopefully break even. Hopefully break even this year. And that's the whole kit and caboodle. And they do a good job. And I'd like to give them more resources so we can do a better job. There's plenty of people down in the beach area. I'm sure call Councilor Sierra all the time during the summer because we don't want people to attack the residentials. And I'm sure there's people, Peter Cavato's ward, where people are playing soccer, they're parking all the neighborhoods, and you wish you had more people to do the enforcement. The same thing with Ward 1. And Ward 2 and 4 and early 20. They do a great job with what they have. We want to give them more, but there has to be climate and culture change for us to give them.
Any other questions for Mr. Fenton? Thank you, Mr. Fenton. Any other comments, questions from the councils on the budget? Motion made by Councilor Switzer to approve. Is there a second? Discussion. Councilor Cahill.
Mr. President, again, thank you everyone for being attentive, and I apologize for being long-winded. But I'd like to go back to the issue of the $1 rule. You know, as a council, we're just basically giving away a step. And not to say that we need to be control freaks, but I think there should be a level of oversight that charter and the state and, you know, Mass General laws kind of anticipating where, you know, it sounds benign, but we really don't need those $1 positions open. It doesn't, I guess for me, that is past the smell test. I've approved it for years. I've approved it for years, we all have. But I think we saw from the snow and ice removal kind of debacle that maybe we should try to change, even if it's incremental, some of the things we do. And if we got rid of the $1, I don't think our lives would change. We probably had more personnel in subcommittee meetings, which we haven't really had a lot of. As a result, last couple of years, maybe we haven't hired anybody really.
Do you have a motion, Council?
I make a motion to eliminate all line items with $1 down to 0.
Could you just, if you, and we'll be diligent, if you could just name each by page and line item number?
You really want me to do each one?
Are there many? You know how many there are?
Yeah, that's a good one.
I think we needed four. Do we have the list?
For every payroll, the $1 is every payroll we're talking about.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot.
What's the wish of the council? Do you want each identified, or do you want to take them whole?
Can I just ask a question?
Councilor Seer, question.
It's not that I disagree with what Dan's saying, I just want to know, maybe to the mayor, how hard it would be to go back and try to fill, recreate those positions. Is it
Your Honor, if you don't
a
mind.
lengthy process to go through? Because I know we're talking about possibly putting another inspector on. If we eliminate that position for $1, we're looking at one process in order to recreate
Well,
those positions, or
you would have to have a personnel committee meeting of the city council. And then the city council would have to approve that position that already has been approved by virtue of the budget being approved. And then it would have to go up to the full committee. And unless you had an emergency on it, it would all lay over. And then it would be subject to any other, my signing it.
so if we were to bring up the farm committee, we have to put out public a certain amount of period of time, 21 days or something.
As I said, it really ends up being an extra step in the process of us hiring. If you look at that budget and you say, okay, so if the city gets enough money, they will be able to hire a second meter maid or whatever it might be. Otherwise, if we get to a point where we say, geez, we'd like to have another meter maid, We would have to submit a formal request to the Personnel Committee of the City Council. Then we would have to go ahead and get that approved by the full City Council. Then we would have to have the appropriation once a salary was set for that, and I think it's a far more convoluted process than it needs to be. I prefer to keep the dollar amounts in there because they're already, by virtue of the budget being approved, the positions.
Is there any way, because I understand what you're describing, but I commend you for that. Is there any way that we could possibly maybe take a look at that during another council meeting, maybe have a motion made to eliminate it for the other side?
If I can, Council, indulge me, and I think we're, and this is my fault, I apologize. Before we actually engage in discussion, we would need a second on Councilor Cahill's motion. Second. Thank you, Councilor Craig. Councilor City, you still have the floor.
I'm just wondering if it's possible, like I said, take a look at this, on the council meeting, we all agree, I mean, to just do it without realizing what the ramifications would be. I kind of look at it a little bit irresponsible.
Councilor Japan.
I agree with the mayor and Council Seer. I just don't feel comfortable, getting rid of, all these open jobs, but, they could be filled. I don't see a need to have, a meeting, personnel committee meeting. I'm hoping that if jobs need to be filled, they could be filled as soon as possible. I know there's a lot of departments that are understaffed right now. People are working as hard as they can. Right now, we're on, as the mayor said, bare bones budget, I'm hoping to see more people, with DPW and other places. We got a lot of needs, in the city. We need more feet on the street, and I just don't feel like, cutting that. I'd rather just keep them in case they come on.
And may I add as well that I believe in departments like police and fire, if we have already begun the process of hiring somebody, for example, as a patrolman, it will be shown as an open $1 slot because we can't yet attach a name to it because the person might not have been selected from the civil service list or might not have completed the academy. So those dollar-funded positions are real positions, and we're just waiting for the actual, they're all real positions, but I mean, those are closer to being filled than some of the others because there's already a person most likely known to be going into that position in the relatively near future.
Okay. Councilor Lozey.
Mr. President, I'm hearing two sides that seem to be compelling either way. Could we hear from either the CFO or the comptroller as, I guess, accounting experts, what their opinion is on eliminating the $1 positions?
Do you have specific questions for Mr. Fatucci?
What is be on this vote?
From a financial perspective?
I think the mayor has, laid out the logistics of what's involved and what would be added to the logistics in the event that that line item was deleted. I don't want to sit here and editorialize, but regardless of what happens, that $1 line item stays there. The council ultimately still has control over what happens to that position because nothing can happen without you approving the appropriation to fund that position. So you have as much control as you possibly ever need to either fund or prevent that position from, regardless of the department, from becoming reality.
Thank you. Councilor Lozey, any additional questions?
Not at this time.
Councilor Trahant. Thank you, Mr. Fatucci.
Thank you. I'd just like to echo what Councilor Capano said. I mean, like, for instance, the police, we've got a bunch of men and women in the academy now, and if we delete all those $1 things, then they're going to have to come back in front of us, from the way I understand it. And then you got people doing it. You talk to other department heads, they got people in there. There's at least 1 or 2 persons in every department that are doing 2 jobs now. So hopefully, right now we're pinching pennies because of the economy, but when things get better, hopefully we can put these people back in. So I think we should just leave it alone. It's been working for years, ever since I've been here, and I think we should just leave it.
Councilor Calucci.
I got a compromise, 50 cents, we'll cut it to 50 cents. it okay on that?
I just like to.
Councilor Cahill.
Just a few points. First of all, there are plenty of positions in here that are funded for $16,000 with no names attached to it. We just approved, we're going to approve the parking department for data entry position. So I don't believe that if we don't have a dollar position, we're not going to have any police or fire. Secondly, to disagree with Mr. Fortucci, take what you want. The problem is the position exists. So once you do the RFP, or the request or you post it, we're stuck with the transfer. It's very difficult for us as a body to once, if you wanted to, the department head or the mayor to say, I'm going to fill this position, and then start the process, and then us say, we're not going to fund it. Especially in the city with residency. Let's face it, that's a difficult decision. So what I'm saying is if we get down to zero, each position we would discuss. And thirdly, I don't remember doing any of that process for the grant writing position. I believe we just filled it, and it just happened, and it was done in a matter of weeks. So this whole time process thing is bunk. I think we're giving some of the control that we should probably have, and the reason why you're here. I would urge that we try it. And we were caught in a predicament with that snow and ice removal because we did it for years, and then years down the line, it got a little bit mixed up, and there was some confusion about it. So why don't we just clear up some confusion? I'm confused by the dollar position. I stay by my motion. I hope you support me. Let's try something.
Any additional comments on Councilor Cahill's
Just
motion?
one
Councilor
comment.
Capano?
This has nothing to do with the snow and ice budget. It's totally separate. That's all.
It has nothing to do with the actual line item. It was how that whole thing came about. I'm trying to avoid that for anything else in the future.
This is nothing like how that all came about.
I disagree with you.
Two quick questions, and Mr. Ducey can answer. One is it costing the taxpayers any more to keep the dollar? And how much would we save if we eliminated it? We're talking about $300?
94.
$94. We're arguing for 15, 20 minutes over $94.
$258 million.
I think Councilor Calucci's idea, cutting it to 50 cents, compromise, that's what it's all about. Let's do that, we'll compromise.
Just a point of information, Mr. Fortucci indicated a moment ago that the position can't be posted unless it's funded, so I believe the funding would have to come first. Councilor Creighton?
Just a quick point to counter Councilor Sears' argument. It's obviously not about the money. I know you gave such a gesture. It's about being clear, being transparent. I have to agree with Councilor Cahill's correct.
Councilor Cahill?
Seems how this is going to go down with glory. I will rescind my initial motion to avoid any.
Are you withdrawing your motion, Councilor?
Thank you.
Motion withdrawn. There's a motion on the floor to approve the budget that's been seconded. Any further discussion? As presented with the additional $3 million to the reserve account by the mayor this evening, roll call.
Council Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Cahill?
Yes.
Yes. Council Capano?
Yes.
Yes. Council Calucci?
Yes.
Yes. Council Creighton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Council Ford? Absent Council Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Council Net?
Yes.
Yes. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. 10 yes.
Motion carries. Next public hearing.
Public hearing relative to a burnt dilapidated dangerous building or other structure located at 248 Boston Street.
Open the public hearing for anybody wishing to speak in favor.
My name is Albert Calucci. I'm the building inspector for the city of Lynn. I'll speak a brief synopsis on the history of this property. In 2007, the Stockbrook cease and desist order was issued on an illegal addition that was being built. It was never complied with. July 30th, 2008, there was a fire. On August 4th of 2008, a fire letter went out to the owner about what his responsibilities were. On August 11th, a board-up permit was taken out to board up the structure to make it safe. Nothing happened for a period of almost 2 years. And then on May 14, 2010, they conducted a board survey by the Lynn Fire Department, Building Department, DPW. The building was deemed a hazard and ordered torn down. The appropriate means was made where the building was posted, the owner notified. Nothing happened again for a year. September 12, 2011, a second board of survey letter was sent telling the owner he needed to demolish the building. On 10/12/2011, a constable served him in hand with said order. In this period, nothing's been done. The building's been a blight on the neighborhood, especially to the abutters whose property values have plummeted. The amount of tickets issued since 2007 come to $5,475, which have gone unpaid.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak in favor? Anybody else wishing to speak in favor? Anybody else in favor? Seeing no, please come to the podium. Thank you. If you could just state your name and address.
Okay, this is Jim and Irene Phelan, and we live right next door to 248 Boston Street. And the owner has done absolutely nothing. We had to live with this foreclosure, empty building since 2009. 4 years. 4 years. And we agree something has to be done. The owner has no interest in doing anything. He has to come to clean the yard unless it's the city makes some nothing.
Well, actually, the city came down to clean up. The other thing cleaned up. The other thing I wanted to mention, take 1 second, I won't be happy if this place gets demolished and just left. It'll just be another place where things will accumulate. It'll be another disaster. It'll be worse than the house. We need to do something to shore that property up so that nothing else happens. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak in favor? Anybody else wishing to speak in favor? Seeing no one else wishing to speak in favor, close the public hearing for all those in favor. Open the public hearing for anybody in opposition.
Hello, my name is Kareem Cherry. I am a real estate agent and investor in the city of Lynn. And I just want to sort of oppose the demo of that property temporarily. I actually was in contact with the owner less than 2 weeks ago in his plans to what he wanted to do with the property. And we made an offer to purchase the property in an attempt to get it back up to the way it used to be. So I would just sort of request maybe like another 30 days to just work out the agreement with the owner, find out if he's actually going to sell the property or just give up on it.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to speak in opposition? Anybody else wishing to speak in opposition? Anybody in opposition? Seeing no one else wishing to speak in opposition, close the public hearing for all those in opposition. Close the public hearing. Councilor Creighton.
Mr. President, through you to the members, this property has been brought to my attention by the Phelans as well as a number of other residences in the area. It's been a problem for quite some time, and one that clearly they have not taken the necessary actions to see it. Of course, I do want to thank the Inspectional Services Building Department and their inspectors for being so vigilant with this. I know it's been an ongoing thing for them. And while I appreciate the last testimony, it's been too long, and I'm going to move forward with the motion to demolish the property.
Motion made and seconded to demolish. Any discussion? Roll call.
Council Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Cahill?
Yes.
Yes. Council Capano? Absent. Council Calucci? Absent. Council Creighton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Council Ford? Absent. Council Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Council Net?
Yes.
Yes. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan? Absent. Motion carries.
And just a point of information for the gentleman who is attempting to purchase the property. This did pass in front of the council this evening. Historically, when people have purchased property or they have something under agreement and a closing is about to occur and it's going to change hands, the council can potentially rescind that. But at this point, as Councilor Creighton indicated, it's time to take action. Thank you. Next public hearing.
Public hearing relative to an ordinance to include floodplain districts in the city of Lynn.
All those wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Anyone wishing to speak in favor? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Anybody wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak in opposition? Seeing none, that part of the hearing is closed. What's the wish of the council? Wait for the council to make a motion.
I wasn't here, sorry, Mr. President, could you repeat voting on?
This is the ordinance to include floodplain districts in the city of Lynn.
I'll make a motion to accept the flood plan.
Council Trahan made a motion to accept. Anyone second? Seconded. Roll call.
Council Barton? Yes. Council Cahill? Yes. Council Capano? Yes. Council Calucci? Yes. Council Creighton? Absent. Council Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Council Ford? Absent. Council Lozey? Yes. Council Net? Yes. Council Phelan? Absent. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. Any emergency?
There's an emergency on that. Council Trahan, emergency on that.
Yeah, I'll make a motion for emergency, please.
Second. Roll call.
Council Barton? Yes. Council Cahill? Yes. Council Capano? Yes. Council Calucci? Yes. Council Creighton? Absent. Council Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Council Ford? Absent. Council Lozey?
Yes.
Yes. Council Net? Yes. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. Carries. Public hearings to be set down, we have none. Unfinished business, do you want me to just read them?
Yes, we can do them all unless somebody wants to take one individually. Thank you.
We have the Public Property Committee of June 5th. We have ordered that the city-owned property on Wishart Terrace be conveyed to Anthony Reynolds D'Amico, 79 Perkins Street, for consideration of $4,500, with the stipulation that land be used for parking and landscaping only, that no building be erected on said property, and that lot not be combined with any other lot, and that the consideration be paid within 60 days of the order being effective. From the Finance Committee of June 5th, ordered that the city controller be and is hereby authorized to make the following appropriation transfers from the account of city clerk expense to the account of unpaid bills of prior years, $1,452.20. From the account of GAR expense to the account of GAR payroll, $900. From the account of parking meter receipts to the account of parking meter expense, $7,000. From the Finance Committee meeting of June 19th, ordered that the City Council order dated May 8, 2012, authorizing the City Comptroller to make a transfer from the Reserve Fund, $52,000.00 to the account of Breed Middle School window replacement be hereby rescinded. Excuse me. Ordered that the City Council order dated May 8, 2012, authorizing the City Comptroller to make a transfer from the account of Reserve Fund, $59,000.00 to the account of LBTI school repairs be hereby rescinded. Ordered that the City Comptroller be and is hereby authorized to appropriate the sum of $130,000 from free cash to the various accounts as follows: $52,000 to ISD Breed window replacement feasibility study, $59,000 to LBTI roof replacement feasibility study, $10,000 for additional for DPW for professional services for Local 193 case, and $9,000 for a legal settlement on behalf of the city's law department.
What's the wish of the council?
Well, the other four committees. Motion to approve. Motion to approve.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call.
Council Barton? Yes. Council Cahill? Yes. Council Capano? Yes. Council Calucci? Yes. Council Creighton? Yes. Council Seer? Yes. Council Ford? Absent. Council Lozey? Yes. Council Net? Yes. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. 10 yes. And we have, no, those were laid over. We have two ordinances that were in the ordinance committee this evening. They've requested emergencies on both. The first was an ordinance amending the ordinance relative to drug paraphernalia And the second was an ordinance creating a Human Rights Commission in the city of Lynn.
Council Seer?
Unanimous by committee with emergencies on both.
Thank you. Second, both at the same time, unless there's an objection, but I would like to just yield the floor a moment to Councilor Net, who'd like to say a couple of words on the Human Rights Commission. He was the advocate and the author of this. Councilor Net.
Thank you so much, Mr. President. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules and adopt a resolution to create a Human Rights Commission for our city, for the city of Lynn. The reason behind this is because for the past 7 months, so I have been speaking with so many different people in our city, and they feel that this is a good idea to have a Human Rights Commission for our city because our city has been changing a lot, and there's 25 other cities in the Commonwealth already have a Human Rights Commission, and we don't have one, so we should. And also, I have the opportunity to work with you, Mr. President, and the rest of the council, and Attorney Mara, the mayor, and Police Chief Covington. And so we all came to agree that this is a good idea to have a Human Rights Commission for our city. And this will benefit for all of us, not just any particular group. And I feel that this will do good thing for our city, and because there's so many people, different people come to our city, and they still feel afraid to talk to us. So they have a Human Rights Commission to go to, so they can guide them, educate them where to go to a proper place, and also the commissioner will work to protect them if they feel that they're violation or discriminate against them, whatever. And this will not have any conflict with any other departments or any commissions at all, because the commissioner will work with every department to make sure everything runs smoothly. So once again, gentlemen, I thank you for your support previously, and work with me on this, and I ask for your support.
Thank you. So what we'll do in light of Councilor Net's motion, we'll take that if Council Seer will yield the floor and allow the motion to approve what came out of the ordinance committee to be made by Councilor Net, if that's acceptable with you. Thank you, Councilor Seer. So we'll recognize a motion to approve both the ordinance relative to the drug paraphernalia and the Human Rights Commission by Councilor Net, seconded by Councilor Seer. Any further discussion? Councilor Colucci.
Mr. Knapp, who's going to be on the commission, do you know yet?
We have at least 8 people in mind right now, so we can choose six commissioners, and the mayor has the right to choose 6, so total of 12. So we will work together to pick the
Work together.
Not me, so we all will have to decide on this.
Councilor Seer.
Thank you. I just want to acknowledge how hard the work that Council Net has done. Came to me back within weeks of him being elected in December, asking me to, go along with this and have hearings in front of the ordinance committee. And at first, I didn't think we needed this Human Rights Commission, but after speaking with Long and realizing that minority community in the city of Lynn, why they felt they needed it, and I just want to commend him. I think he's done a great job on this, and he really worked hard on it. So for it to be where it's at right now, he did a great job. So
thank you. Roll call.
Council Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Cahill? Yes. Council Capano?
Yes.
Yes. Council Calucci? Yes. Council Creighton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Council Ford, absent Council Lozey? Yes. Council Net?
Yes.
Yes. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. 10 yes.
Emergency.
On the emergency.
Council Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Cahill?
Yes.
Yes. Council Capano?
Yes.
Yes. Council Calucci? Yes. Council Creighton?
Yes.
Yes. Council Seer?
Yes.
Yes. Council Ford, absent Council Lozey? Yes. Council Net?
Yes.
Yes. Council Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Council Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. 10 yes.
Any new business?
We have finances.
Excuse me.
We have several orders on finance. I'll read them together if you want to separate them. Okay. First one, order that the sum of $33,730 be certified as available fund is awarded to the City of Lynn Police Department through the Executive Office of Public Safety and Security for the federal fiscal year 2009 Buffer Zone Protection Plan grant. Order that the sum of $153,435.00 be certified as an available fund is allotted to the City of Lynn Office of Economic and Community Development by the North Shore Workforce Investment Board for the summer youth employment. And order that the following appropriation transfers be made from the account of clerk and committee's expense to the clerk and committee's payroll, $1,172.52. From the account of reserve fund to the account of IT payroll, $2,700. From the account of free cash to the account of DPW sanitation, $191,756. From the account of reserve fund to the account of collector's payroll, $4,000.
Do I hear a second? Second. Discussion. Roll call.
Counsel Barton? Yes. Counsel Cahill? Yes. Counsel Capano? Yes. Counsel Calucci? Yes. Counsel Creighton? Yes. Counsel Seer? Yes. Counsel Ford? Absent Counsel Lozey? Yes. Counsel Net? Yes. Counsel Phelan?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Trahan?
Yes.
Yes. It's 10 yes, we have requested emergencies.
On the emergency, roll call.
Counsel Barton?
Yes.
Yes. Counsel Cahill? Yes. Counsel Capano? Yes. Counsel Calucci? Yes. Counsel Creighton? Yes. Counsel Seer? Yes. Counsel Ford, absent Counsel Lozey? Yes. Counsel Net? Yes. Counsel Phelan? Yes. Counsel Trahan? Yes, 10 yes.
Any new business? Sure. Motion made to adjourn. All those in favor?